The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Well, the Trump administration suggests it could revoke existing visas or deny them to applicants if they celebrated or made light of Charlie Kirk's assassination on social media. Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Landau posted on X that he has directed consular officials to, quote, undertake appropriate action. Under President Trump, the State Department has ramped up what it calls expanded screening and vetting of many visa applicants' social media accounts. The State Department has utilized AI technology in the effort.
We should not be giving visas to people who are going to come to the United States and do things like celebrate the murder, the execution, the assassination of a political figure. We should not. And if they're already here, we should be revoking their visa. Why would we want to bring people into our country that are going to engage in negative and destructive behavior?
Why, indeed. Welcome, my friends, to the Monday edition of Snerdley's Rush Hour. 800-848-9222 is, well, are we going to take calls? We may not. Anyway, if we do, that's the number. James Golden, Snerdley here. This is the fastest hour in American media. We don't have a chance to take calls because we got so much stuff going on. We take calls on the weekend on our Saturday program. We took a lot of calls this past weekend. So if we do get to calls, though, 800-848-9222. Doubtful, because we are loaded, my friends. Loaded. You heard Marco Rubio there, and you heard ABC. Now, there's a group that is out of Britain, I believe. The name of the group is, I always want to call him Bob Villain, and it's V-Y-L-Y-N. And when I first heard it, I'm like, is this guy long dreads, which I like dreads, but I'm just nasty. And he called Charlie Kirk a POS on stage and was joking, celebrating it during his tour. He's also said several times on stage that he wants the Israeli Defense Force killed, et cetera, et cetera. Well, apparently his visa to the United States is now kaput, gone. And there are some students here, they have been isolated out of the other comments, the comments people are making on social media. There are some students that are guests of the United States here that have said some pretty horrible things about Charlie Kirk, and they have been exposed and waiting to see whether the shoe drops there. Liberals are upset because the shoes are dropping, and there is a lot of activity, especially on this Monday. Companies have announced that certain of their workers are looking elsewhere for jobs now. We will get to all that. The Charlie Kirk show, which aired at noon today, featured Vice President J.D. Vance as guest host. I think the cut that everybody, aside from some of the things that were discussed about Charlie's life, the vice president made some very touching remarks, I thought, about Charlie's marriage and the way that he behaved with his wife and the way that he interacted with his wife. It was just, that was beautiful. But the I think, quote that many people are pulling from that show was having Stephen Miller on. That is cut 7, Carlos, and that runs almost 2 minutes. But let me tell you, it was a fast 2 minutes. And this is Stephen Miller on with Vice President J.D. Vance hosting the Charlie Kirk show today.
Walk me through, at a high level, like what you and I have been working on, what the whole administration has been working on to try to make sure that we don't reward and promote this craziness.
So it's an excellent question. I said this before, but it bears repeating. The last message that Charlie sent me was, I think it was just the day before we lost him, which is that we need to have an organized strategy to go after the left-wing organizations that are promoting violence in this country. And I will write those words onto my heart, and I will carry them out. If people ask me, what emotions I'm feeling right now, and this is something people say, you kind of know the answer. There's incredible sadness, but there's incredible anger. And the thing about anger is that unfocused anger or blind rage is not a productive emotion.
Right.
but focused anger, righteous anger, directed for a just cause is one of the most important agents of change in human history.
Charlie showed that. Amen.
And we are going to channel all of the anger that we have over the organized campaign that led to this assassination to uproot and dismantle these terrorist networks. So let me explain a little bit what that means. So,
We've got 30 seconds, so be quick, Stephen.
The organized doxing campaigns, the organized riots, the organized street violence, the organized campaigns of dehumanization, vilification, posting people's addresses, combining that with messaging that's designed to trigger and incite violence, and the actual organized cells that carry out and facilitate the violence, it is a vast domestic terror movement. And with God as my witness, we are going to use every resource we have at the Department of Justice, Homeland Security, and throughout this government to identify, disrupt, dismantle, and destroy these networks and make America safe again for the American people. It will happen, and we will do it in Charlie's name.
That was just simply awesome. Breaking news, and we don't need the sounder. We don't need it. It's okay. Breaking. I'll do it. Breaking news. Breaking news. Okay. Princess Diana has sent me the breaking news. Thank you, Your Highness. Well, I appreciate it very much. It comes in the form of a communique from the President of the United States of America that was issued over his media platform, Truth Social. Ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention. Here is the communique from the President of these United States of America. This morning, on my orders, U.S. military forces conducted a second kinetic strike against positively identified extraordinarily violent drug trafficking cartels and narco-terrorists in the South Com area of responsibility. The strike occurred while these confirmed narco-terrorists from Venezuela were in international waters transporting illegal narcotics, a deadly weapon poisoning Americans, headed to the U.S. These extremely violent drug trafficking cartels pose a threat to U.S. national security, foreign policy, and vital U.S. interest. The strike resulted in 3 male terrorists killed in action. No U.S. forces were harmed in this strike. Be warned. If you are transporting drugs that can kill Americans, we are hunting you. The illicit activities by these cartels have wrought devastating consequences on American communities for decades, killing millions of American citizens. No longer. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So, there you have the breaking news. Some of the headlines, this from the LA Times. After Charlie Kirk slaying, workers learned the limits of free speech in and out of their jobs. This is from an NPR station somewhere out there in the Midwest. I forget the name of the exact site. It's opb.org. People are losing jobs due to social media posts about Charlie Kirk. This one from CBS News. Workers fired, placed on leave for Charlie Kirk comments after assassination. This one from Fox News. Washington Post columnist fined. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me repeat that again. I don't want to be inaccurate about anything in this headline. Please, no. Washington Post columnist fired over social media post after Charlie Kirk's assassination. And then from the dailybs.com, WAPO fires columnist for sharing fake quote from Charlie Kirk and racist post on his death. That would be the columnist Karen Attiah. I have read her columns before and shook my head at some of them, wondering how. Anyway, she is now, and she's annoyed. Oh, Matthew Dowd. He apologized shortly after his inflammatory remarks got him booted out of PMS. He's all over the place now. It's a right-wing mob that took me out. Blah, blah, blah. It's a right-wing mob. Well, I got news for you. If we can delve into some of these stories about the people that go, my friends, it is becoming quite the list. Exclusive, Army suspends reserve officer. That's another one that belongs in the job section. Okay. Oh, by the way, in other news, looks like we have a deal. At least Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said today that the United States has a framework for a TikTok deal. TikTok deal? No, TikTok deal. TikTok deal. A TikTok deal. So that may be an offering, a deal to keep TikTok around. TikTok is where you find some of the slimiest of the slimy remarks. Not to say that the other social media platforms don't have their own, but I mean, some of those are on TikTok. You'll hear some of them if we have time. I want to get to, when we come back from our first congratulations to the sponsors messages, I want to get to a discussion that was held on CNN today with that woman, whatever her name, Boldoon, whatever. Tim Birch, I'm not mispronouncing her name on purpose, by the way. I don't watch it. I just see the clips, and I scroll through the clips. I don't actually sit and watch CNN unless I absolutely have to. So I see the clips, and her name, B-O something, D-U-L-N. So I don't know. Anyway, she's just a CNN anchorette. But Tim Burchett, this was quite the interesting discussion. It went on for almost 10 minutes. We have to split it up. Also, Robert Kennedy spoke about Charlie Kirk at the Kennedy Center at the vigil they had there. And given the history of the Kennedys and what that family has suffered through, I think his remarks were particularly poignant. So I'd like to get that. Also, Donald Trump has announced that Nashville is the next place they're going to go try to get a handle on crime there. Liberals are having a cow over it. J.B. Pritzker, one of the most horrible governors in America, did something horrible by even his standards. We got all that and more. James Golden, Snerdley with you here. Fastest hour in American media. James Golden, Snerdley, don't go away. Excuse me. Give me the mic. I'm sorry, I made a mistake, and Lady Benedict corrected me. It's Memphis, not Nashville. It's Tennessee. Does it really make a difference? It's Memphis, not Nashville. Nashville doesn't have crime. It's all those country artists down there. It's Memphis where all the... Oh, let me get out of this quick.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
I mentioned the RFK speech that he gave at Charlie Kirk's vigil. We will play that. But I want you to hear this from the governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, and these are remarks that he made. I think today, it could have been yesterday, but here it is. Mr. Pritzker? We're waiting, Mr. Pritzker.
ICE has been gathering its agents. It has taken them longer than I think they anticipated. And so we still, and they are active, as you have seen. They are, and we've seen a death on Friday as a result of their entering communities and putting people into fear.
Okay. those words from a governor, we have seen a death on Friday as a result of ICE entering into communities and putting people into fear. So the death has now been blamed on ICE. That's who's responsible for the death. 38-year-old Silvero Villegas Gonzalez resisted arrest. He tried to flee. He aimed his car at an ICE agent and hit the ICE agent and was dragging the ICE agent with his vehicle. The ICE agent, in fear for his life, fired and mortally wounded, he deaded him. How is this ICE's fault, Governor? And what a despicable thing you have said.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Speaking of Memphis, not Nashville, let's visit Memphis and hear one of the residents there.
And, you know, it's just so dangerous that you can't get out of your car. You can't go to the grocery store. You can't go to the market or the service station. So, yeah, I want to see the crime stop. And if the National Guard is going to stop the crime, bring them out.
Okay, so let us quickly, I'm still looking at this message I got from Lady Benedict. Carlos, you can read it. You can tell a lot about how people think about you by the way that they type their text messages. Like when I blew it and I said it was Nashville, that they were going to go stop the crime in Nashville, immediately she sent me this text. And Memphis is all like in Trump caps. It's like, and you know what Trump cap mean. It either means this is really important stuff, or it means like the version of like, hey, idiot. So it's like, Memphis, not Nashville, you idiot. Why am I not doing this show instead of him? That's what that really means. And you can read it in the text. Like, nobody else would make that mistake. Everybody knows it's Memphis, not Nashville, you idiot. Okay, appreciate it. But I'm glad for the information because I need to be corrected when I make a mistake. Not like some people. That Daily BS story that we have on what Charlie Kirk said. Look, folks, when I first read the story, because I had been unaware about this remark and how it had set off. Apparently, this Karen Attia person over at the Washington Post, and there's a remark in it where she says, and I'm getting all over the place. I know I said I was going to do RFK, then I was going to do this, but she basically says that Charlie Kirk is racist because he said that black women, quote unquote, do not have the brain processing power to be taken seriously, and that black women have to steal a white person's slot. I was like, whoa. Charlie said that? And then, of course, I said, okay, what's the context? And, of course, I'm used to this because this is the way the left used to try to tell lies about Rush. And the stuff would spread all over the place, and it wasn't true. And so, he was talking about, it was out of context. He was discussing affirmative action. He criticized Joy Reid, Michelle Obama, Sheila Jackson Lee, Justice Ketanji Brown, specifically for acknowledging that they benefited from affirmative action policies. The full quote that he said was, if we would have said 3 weeks ago that Joy Reid, Michelle Obama, and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called racist. But now they're coming out and saying it for us. You don't have the brain processing power to be taken seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot. So he was not saying that about black women. This was a specific he was making an analogy to what they are saying with their own admissions. Totally. Now, you may disagree with him on that, but that is not the context that this columnist from the Washington Post says, and they do this all the time. And she provided no context. It's journalistic malpractice. And I guess her remarks about Charlie Kirk, and I didn't even look at her remarks there, got her fired. And so, okay. If she's really a great journalist, she's on Substack now. Maybe she'll end up somewhere else. Who knows? I made a point. Yes, I know I said it. And I'm going to have to move some of these sound bites till tomorrow because, I'm sorry, I'm just on a stream of consciousness roll today. I made the point over the weekend, and I want to make it here. Many of these people that are being fired right now are extremely selfish. And what do I mean by selfish? If you are in a position where you have to take care of your family, where you have to take care of other people, how selfish of you is it to lose your job because you couldn't restrain your own mouth? Or worse than that, because you had to go and engage in either say something inappropriate or put a video up on social media. It is also selfish of people to think that they have no responsibility to their employers. Many of these people you see in their profile, which is how they're getting doxxed, they put their affiliations, their work affiliations, and then they go on to say awful things. That is entirely irresponsible toward the place that you work. These jobs, these businesses, in many cases, I don't care what, have spent years, sometimes decades, cultivating relationships with their clients, with their customers. And here you come, and you just can't constrain your own anger and rage at whatever it is, and you spout off on social media where people will see you and then associate what you do with your workplace. And in some cases, it is really egregious. You have doctors and nurses. I mean, some of the comments that I've seen from some people in the medical profession, I would hate to be a patient of some of these doctors and nurses and have them discover that I am a conservative because of what they're saying. And can you imagine being unconscious with one of these people and their hatred? I don't know what these people are capable of. And what's more egregious than that is some of the teachers. Let me just say this too. You know, our parents. I say collectively our parents. And you know what's so amazing to me? I was talking with a friend of mine in Canada, from a Canuck friend of mine. She raised in the Canucks up north with the Canucks. And I started down a phrase, and she finished the phrase for me. I grew up in, black folks, and then went down south and more black families, Buffalo. And some people are so far removed from that in terms of the way they grew up. But if I say the phrase, you all will know it. because we had common values. And the phrase that I mentioned was a very simple phrase. If you can't say something nice about somebody, and most of you just finished it yourselves, don't say anything at all. That's what our parents and our elders taught us. They taught us things like, you can kill more flies with honey than you can with vinegar, whatever. Kindness doesn't cost you anything. These were common values, and they dictated not only how you behaved on the inside with your friends and your family, but how you behaved outside, facing the world. And what else did your parents tell you? They used to tell you this, maybe. Look, don't embarrass your family. Don't go out here. Don't do anything in the street that would embarrass us. Act properly. Don't embarrass us. And the concept that they were trying to instill is that what you do reflects not only on you, it reflects your upbringing, it reflects everything about your character and about the character of your family. And it's as if a lot of these people have forgotten all about that. They don't realize that they reflect their job and the cultures of their job. They reflect their families. They reflect the world that produced them. And so I say again, many of these people are just plain selfish. They don't care how it impacts anybody. And look, if some of these businesses get shut down because people protest and because people boycott, you're not just hurting your business owner, you're hurting every other person there that's working, that's trying to make a living. If you cause a business to take a huge hit because of your selfishness and you just cannot restrain yourself from saying horrible things about someone, these people can hurt other people as well. It's 100% selfishness. Okay, that said, folks, the Tim Burchett stuff may have to wait till tomorrow. It's good, but it's 3 different cuts, in total 9 minutes. We don't even have that. I want to play Robert F. Kennedy, cut 9. This is Robert Kennedy at the Kennedy Center, the vigil for Charlie Kirk.
And I had a conversation once with Charlie where we were talking about the danger that we both faced from challenging entrenched interests. And he asked me if I was scared to die. And I said to him, there's a lot worse things than dying. And one of those... and chief among those is losing our constitutional rights and having our children raised in slavery. And I said to him at that time, I said, sometimes our only consolation is that we can die with our boots on. We can die fighting for these things. Charlie gave his life so that the rest of us would not have to suffer those fates worse than death. Now it's our job, he's no longer there to lead us, to rush in and fill the breach and win this battle for our country, for God, and for our families. Thank you all.
That was brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant. Tell you what we're going to do. We'll come back and have just a few more minutes left. I have another one. My friends, this one, the Tim Burchett piece goes 9 minutes. There is a Democrat woman, a woman who has voted for Democrats for 31 years. She's been voting Democrat. She posted a video that's almost 7 minutes long, her reaction to what has happened with her party and with this Charlie Kirk thing that is a must hear. So we're going to have to try to find some time to squeeze some of these things in during the week that we cannot get to today. We'll be back.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
So he went from behind the desk all the time, infuriating people, to becoming a streetwalker. Well, a streetwalker. I mean, a person that wanders around large urban areas sometimes rural areas, putting a microphone in people's face and asking them questions. Who am I speaking about? Don Lemon. Now, Don Lemon approached two black people. One of them, big, heavy-set kind of guy, I can relate, and apparently he was with his woman. And he just looking for it. He just, you could just tell he profiled them, is what I think. And then he asked them this question, and I think he was a little stunned by the response.
What do you think would happen to Charlie Kirk?
It's just messed up, totally messed up. You know that was messed up. Like, nobody deserved that. He definitely didn't deserve that. He was a good guy.
You think he was a good guy?
I think he was.
You think
Good morals.
Captain Kirk.
The what?
The only Kirk you recognize is Captain Kirk. I don't know Charlie Kirk. I don't know who
You
that
don't
is.
know who it is?
I don't know who that is.
I know who it was. Like, I
only know about him when
all of us have flaws. I can't really tell you what to believe in or how to feel. Like, everybody's having a human experience. Like, why knock him for having this human experience or what he believe in?
Even though even though he says things that are anti-women, black, all that.
I can't judge him for that.
You can't.
I can't judge him for that. But I can use judgment. He didn't deserve that.
Right. Human being.
Yeah,
you are very spiritual.
You know, yeah.
No,
I
you
can't
sound
go
like,
left. I can't go left with that.
No, you sound like, you mean left, going
yeah,
left,
like,
not left.
Because I'm
right.
humanity.
Yeah.
I'm humanity and left first.
No, I love that. So the first person I spoke to here didn't want to be on camera, and he said, I can't judge him because I'm not God. And so let him, let whatever the reaction is, if the government wants to give him a state-like funeral, if they let him do it because God is the only judge. And
yeah, like, nobody really can judge him.
Yeah.
And, like, I kind of, like, seen him before all of this happened, but I don't see whatever everybody else was seeing. So,
right.
Yeah.
Hey, that's how you feel. It's nice to see you.
Did you hear him almost instigate? He said things that are anti-woman, I wish somebody would just ask him, would you please name them and explain exactly why they were, as you say, anti-woman? Charlie Kirk was married. He has daughters. Anti-woman? These people, they annoy me some days. Oh, you know this song, don't you? I will never forget this song. Summer song. It was Stevie. I think he might have been, I want to say either 15 or 16 when he recorded this. Anyway, we're playing it because today is the heavenly birthday of American songwriter and record producer Sylvia Moy, the first woman at Motown to write and produce for Motown acts. She co-wrote this one. She co-wrote Uptight, Everything's All Right, so many more. Passed away in 2017. Well, my friends, that wraps it up for this, the fastest hour in American media for the day. We've got a lot of things we're going to carry over till tomorrow from this. You've got to hear. May God bless, protect each and every single one of you, your family, your loved ones. Love and gratitude for your being here, allowing me to be with you. I know that these are troubling days for many of us. God bless you. In the meantime, my friends, I bid you adieu. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. You can hear Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour weekdays at 4 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?